Hello, my wonderful students and chemistry lovers. Today I'm going to talk to you about naming ionic compounds. My name is Dr. Lutano Kwesili, and I'm going to serve as your guide today in this interesting lecture and conversation. Okay? So for us to name ionic compounds, we must first of all identify what an ionic compound is. An ionic compound will always be made from a metal joined to a non-metal by a strong electrostatic attraction called ionic bond. So to identify an ionic compound, we must be able to identify the presence or note the presence of a metal which is usually bonded to a non-metal. So the metal must be present for us to be sure that we're dealing with an ionic compound. Now, once you've been able to identify the presence of a metal, the next thing you're going to ask yourself, what type of metal is present? Because the type of metal is going to tell us the type of ionic compound that you have. We have two types of ionic compounds. We have type 1 ionic compound and we have type 2 ionic compound. When you talk of type 1 ionic compound, I'm talking about an ionic compound that comprises of a main group metal in its compound. Okay, when you talk of main group metals, you're talking of metals in group 1, the alkali metals, metals in group 2, the alkali earth metals, and metals in group 13 of the modern periodic table known as the aluminum group. Okay, of course, alkali metals will always show +1 charge in all their compounds. Magnesium, for instance, alkaline earth metal, will always show +2 charge or 2+ charge in all its compounds, the same way aluminum, for instance, in group 13, will always show 3+ charge in all its different compounds that it forms. Okay, so when you have a metal in this main group elements or main groups I've mentioned, group 1, 2, and 13, in an ionic compound, of course, that compound is definitely a type 1 ionic compound. And this is again because these metals will only have one oxidation state or one charge and charge magnitude in their different ionic compounds. Okay, example of that is seen in sodium. Sodium will always show a +1 charge or +1 charge or +1 charge in all its ionic compounds. Okay, then type 2 ionic compound are known as those compounds that are made from a special class of metals or elements known as the transition metals. If you take a tour back to the periodic table, you discover that between the group 2 and group 13 elements, at the core, the heart, the center of the periodic table, you have this special class of elements known as transition metals, which are found from group 3 down to group 12 of the periodic table. These transition metals or transition elements are special in that they have what we call partially filled d orbitals. They have partially filled d orbitals, which of course helps us to explain their chemistries and their reactivities. But that is for another day, because we're going to also dedicate a video of videos talking about transition metals when we get to that. But for today, it is important for you to note that these metals from group 3 down to group 12, known as transition metals, sometimes also form ionic compound. And the type of ionic compound they form is known as type 2 ionic compound. And another interesting thing about these transition metals or transition elements is that they show what we call variable oxidation states. So they have different charges and charge magnitude in their different ionic compounds that they form or make. That is what differentiates them from type 1. Remember, in type 1 ionic compound, you're talking about main group metals that don't show variable oxidation states. So in all their different ionic compounds, they only show a particular charge. Sodium +1, magnesium +2, aluminum +3 in all their compounds, that is type 1. But for transition metals, they show variable oxidation states. So in their different ionic compounds, you have the same metal having different charges or showing different oxidation states. When you have an ionic compound whose metallic part or component is a transition metal, then ultimately you have what we call type 2 ionic compound. I believe it's clear. Example of a transition metal is iron. So you discover in some of the compounds, ionic compounds made from iron, you're going to have them show the 2+ charge, but in order of its ionic compounds, it's going to show 3+ charge. The same trend is seen in, like I said, in all the transition metals. Take for instance the pair of chromium and cobalt. You will always see some of their compounds, then these metals showing 2+ charge and 3+ charge in some of their compound. Again, this pair, tin and lead, also show 2+ and 4+ charges in their different ionic compounds, while in copper will show +1 or plus charge and 2+ charge in different of their different ionic compounds. So pay attention to this. So now we understand that we have type 1 ionic compound made from main group metals, and we also have type 2 ionic compound made from transition metals. We're now going to go have a full dive into naming these two types of ionic compound. But for today and today's lecture, we're going to focus in naming type 1 ionic compound. And in the next lecture video, we'll go into naming of type 2 ionic compounds. Okay? I believe if you watch closely, you will discover we are painstakingly trying to help brush up our chemistry. I challenge you again, if you have a subject, a child who has been struggling with foundational aspects of chemistry, invite them to be part of what we are doing in Chem Class with Dr. Luther, especially in this series on chemical bonding. In this series, in this stage, we are still trying to break down concepts that we find in ionic bonding. And today we are talking about naming of ionic compound. And again, today we are going to focus in naming type 1 binary compounds. You see, right now we have brought in another term which is binary. Recall the difference between a molecule and a compound is that a molecule is whenever two atoms, whether of the same elements or different elements, are joined together by any kind of chemical bond, you have a molecule. So O2 oxygen gas is a molecule, but this is a molecule of atoms of the same element. But when you have atoms of different elements being joined together by a kind of chemical bond, you make a compound. And compounds are made from atoms of two different elements. So sodium and chlorine combined makes what we call a binary compound, in that it is made from two elements. So binary compounds are compounds containing two different elements. All right? Remember I told you that all compounds are molecules, but not all molecules are compounds. So oxygen gas, nitrogen gas, all of those things are molecules, but they are not compound. Sodium chloride is an ionic compound. Water molecule is a covalent compound, because these two I mentioned comprises of what? Two different elements. So water molecule is a binary compound. Sodium chloride is a binary compound. From what I just explained now, you will agree with me that we have binary ionic compound and we have binary covalent or molecular compound. So since we are talking about ionic bonding and ionic compounds, we are going to teach you how to name binary ionic compound. In this case, type 1 binary ionic compounds. When we get to discussing covalent bonding and covalent compounds, we are now going to then teach you how to name binary covalent or molecular compound, because the formats or the procedure for naming these two types of binary compounds are different. Pay attention to this, because these are the basic issues that when you understand in chemistry, it makes you strong and makes you to have a firm foundation in chemistry. Nice. So binary compounds again are those compounds that comprises of two different elements. Sodium chloride is a binary compound. Water molecule is a binary compound. The difference is that sodium chloride is an ionic compound, okay? While water is made from oxygen and hydrogen, which are non-metal, that is covalent. I believe that is clear. So to name binary or type 1 binary compounds, you use the following formula or format. You name the metal first, or the cation first. Then you name the non-metal. The only thing is that you remove the last syllables of the name of the non-metal, and that gives you what we call the base name of the anion. Then that last syllables of the non-metal you have removed, you replace it with IED. This table will help us to appreciate how this formula works. Again, for us to name type 1 binary ionic compound, first of all, name the metal which forms the cation, and of course, name the non-metal. The only thing you must do is that you remove the last syllables, okay, of the non-metal to give you what we call the base of the anion. Then that last syllables you have removed, replace it with the suffix IED. That way you name that ionic compound. So look at this table, you will appreciate some common anions. There are about 7 of them that we listed. We have more, but these are the 7 common ones that we have. Okay, here if you look at this table, the first column you have serial number, you have the non-metal, the symbol for the ion it forms, the base name, and the anion. Fluorine, for instance, will form a fluoride ion, and from the word you will discover if you remove the last syllables of the name, which is in, okay, you now replace the last syllables you remove with IED. That gives you the name of the anion. So the base name of a non-metal is when you remove the last syllables, you make the base name fluor. Okay, then replace the last syllables you removed, which is INE, with IDE. You get the name of that anion called fluoride ion. So chlorine again, Cl minus, you remove the last syllables in, you have chlor. When you put IED in place, you have chloride. You have bromine, okay, the base name is bromo. Of course, replace the last syllables with IED. Of course, you have bromide ion. Iodine, you remove the R in, okay, and you have iod. When you put IED, you have iodide ion, okay. Oxygen, you just remove the Cg, okay, and you have ox as the base name. And when you put IED, you have oxide. Then sulfur, of course, you remove the sulf, okay, you remove the sulf, okay. You know, remember the British most times will call it sulfur, P-H-U-R. The Americans always prefer to write it as S-U-L-F-U-R. It's the same. It's just the British and the American format or form of calling sulfur. It's the same thing. So when you do that, you have sulf, okay, and you have sulfide. Beautiful. Then you also have nitrogen. All right. Nitrogen will form N3 minus ion. Of course, if you remove the ogen, you have nitre, which you now replace the IED. Okay, you replace the OGEN with IED, and you have nitride ion. So these are the anion names, because it will help you once you bring the name of the cation and the name of the anion together. You are going to name that what? Ionic compound. For example, if you have NaCl, of course, the cation name or the metal name is sodium. It's followed by the anion name, which is what? Chlor, which is the base name. And now put IED, you now have sodium chloride. You have what? Sodium chloride. You know, this is simple, but you are going to get it, start becoming confusing for some students, especially once the atomicity of the different elements in that compound begins to increase or change, as the case may be. So pay attention to that. So here you have MgO, which is magnesium oxide. Very simple. But here you have NgF2. See, this is where students begin to have issues. Because of this atomicity of 2, they might be tempted to say difluoride. In ionic compound, you don't use that prefix for the anion, okay? Pay attention to these, students, okay? You don't say difluoride in ionic compounds, okay? Rather, you name the metal, which is magnesium, okay? And simply name the what? Give the base name of the non-metal and replace the last syllables with IED. So you have magnesium fluoride. That is the right name, not difluoride, magnesium fluoride. Remember, the way we name binary ionic compound is different from the name we name binary, covalent, or molecular compound. We are still going to teach you how to name binary, covalent, or molecular compounds in subsequent videos when we start talking about covalent bonding. So pay attention to the difference in naming of binary ionic compounds and binary covalent compounds. This will help you to strengthen your chemistry and how to name compounds and molecules. Beautiful. So here you have potassium and bromine. So definitely you have potassium bromide. Here, this is where it becomes a little bit tricky, because you and I know that zinc is a transition metal. It doesn't belong to the main group elements. So if we are going to classify this compound, it's supposed to be a type 2 ionic compound, which is made from what? Transition elements. But there will always be exception to any rule. And the exception that we are seeing with zinc here is because, yes, zinc is a transition metal. But in all of its compound, it only shows the 2+ charge. It doesn't show variable oxidation state. So it resembles the main group metals in that it doesn't show variable oxidation state. In all of its compounds, zinc will show 2+ charge. So because of that, it was placed to be named alongside with type 1 binary ionic compounds. Beautiful. And again, because you have 3 here and you have 2 here, some students begin to get confused. Don't need to get confused. What it simply means is that the oxidation state of zinc here is +2 and the oxidation state of nitrogen here is 3-. Because I taught you in the last lecture how to draw the formula or write the formula of different ionic compounds using the crisscross method. So what it simply means is that these subscripts, when you exchange them, will give us back the magnitude of the charges of the 2 elements, the metal and the non-metal. So what it means is that the charge of zinc in this compound is +2, while the charge of nitrogen in this compound is 3-, as we did in our last lectures. Okay? So having said that, you discover that zinc will just be here, it will just be called zinc nitride, not trizinc dinitride. No, you don't do that. You don't use those prefixes in naming ionic compound. Okay? Pay attention to that. So you don't say zinc trizinc dinitride. No, you just simply say zinc nitride. That is how to name ionic compound. And I've said it again, that zinc happened to form type 1 ionic compound simply because it doesn't show variable oxidation state, even though it is a transition metal. So for a quick recap, we understood that for us to have an ionic compound, there must be a metal and a non-metal. We also understood that we have 2 types of ionic compounds. We have the type 1 ionic compound and type 2 ionic compound. The type 1 ionic compound are made from metals that belong to the main group of the periodic table, which is group 1, 2, and 13. While the type 2 ionic compounds, which we are going to name in our next lecture video, comprises of transition metals, which are metals found between group 2 and, of course, 12 of the periodic table. However, we understood that zinc is an exception to the idea of type 2 compounds, in that zinc forms type 1 compound because it doesn't show variable oxidation state. In all of its compound, it will have 2+ charge. I believe you learned something. If you got value in this lecture, kindly share this video. Comment, like, and share it. Let it get to those students who actually need the knowledge that we are dishing out today. It promises to continue being exciting, even as we continue to explore the concepts of ionic bonding and ionic compounds. In the next lecture video, we're going to focus our attention in mastering the art of naming type 2 ionic compounds. After that, we go into naming even other complex ionic compounds that have polyatomic ions. And more interesting things will ensue even after that. If you enjoy this, again, kindly like, comment, and share. Tell us in the comment section, what you have learned in this lecture and leave a kind word for Dr. Luther and his teaching style in the comment section. And of course, rep your location where you're watching from again in the comment section. Until the next video, stay safe, stay away from trouble, keep getting better, keep bettering your chemistry, and again, remain blessed. Bye.